What's going on, Virgo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're getting ready to get geeked up for this month. Your ruler's doing shenanigans. You know, it is what it is, but it's fine, Virgo. But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just phenomenal, Virgo. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy to have yourself inspired you here. We're in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you about some fun, Virgo, because it is Celestial News Monthly. I had to keep it down a little bit. Actually, a Virgo next door is doing something, so it's fine. But Virgo, when the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you. Leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? I got to start doing Cancer's reading. There's a little extra bit in there. Let's jump into it, Virgo. That's actually a part of Cancer's things, too. I'm getting, like, channel things confused. It's fine, Virgo. You're just getting a little bit behind the scenes. That's fine. And, Virgo, your space has been cleansed. We're just going to keep on moving. Crystals. Feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Virgo. Now, Virgo. Actually, before we get into this thing, Virgo, I'm going to be. I started something. I was inspired by Scorpio's reading. I have these dice here. These Zodiac dice. They're 12-sided dice. One has the Zodiac signs on them. That's always one I've utilized here just to have just like a reference. You know, sometimes you get talk about the energies. It's just like, wait, which sign am I talking with? Or which energy frequency am I talking with? But I have here, this one has the planets plus the north and south node on them, and this one has just the numbers, which represents the houses. So we're going to roll some dice, Virgo, and we're going to see what energy comes up for you. I don't know what this is for. This is just... And that's very interesting because you know what? That's kind of what I feel your energy is kind of doing a little bit. So Virgo, if you happen to have your charts, you know, maybe if you check out your Neptune placement, that may be something you may have some points or aspects to your, maybe to your sun. Maybe you're like me, you have your Neptune and, oh, actually the sun's right here. My sun and Neptune are actually in opposition, and sun's in Cancer, Neptune's in Capricorn. And if you happen to have maybe and with that, you know, that's any kind of things that deal with Neptune, any kind of conversations they have, especially with personal planets. That's always a fascinating one. Very kind of strong intuition that can be there, can be potential for escapism. You know, wanting that sort of connection with source can be kind of hard integrating kind of into this. It depends. It's a sensitivity that comes through with that energy. No, whatever conversation Neptune may be having with your, if you have any aspects in planets or points with her. So something to think about. Also, if you have any 11th house placements, which the 11th house is a fascinating one. I like how in the book, The Inner Sky, Stephen Force's book, and I like how he talks about the 11th house a little bit. He made a mention to it's the house that you never really enter because it's the house of the future. It's one of those things that we were living. The unique thing I feel like the 11th house and who's responsible for that, Uranus and the sign that's in there, Aquarius. You know, there is this sense of timelessness in a sense where Saturn, I feel like, is the structure of time. Uranus recognizes it as energies. You know, it all flows together. And so this can be where, what is your future looking like? This is a house of friendships as well. Are the people around you, the groups that you're involved with, are they focusing on that? You can see where you happen to have your 11th house cusp at. Mine's in Gemini. And yeah, Gemini. And I just say if you have any points or planets there, that can be a house that you may want to get a bit more familiar with and working with that energy. And if you happen to have Neptune in the 11th house, I don't know if I know anyone who has that, but that can be an interesting combination because I can feel like that can be one. I feel being mindful about boundaries as far as when it comes to connections with friends. There can be a sort of Neptune dissolves things, and so that's one thing I feel like you would want to be mindful of with that energy. That can be where you can find great creativity in groups. This could be where it might benefit joining some sort of like clubs, maybe something along those lines. But I do kind of feel with that, making sure to take some adequate time alone, I would feel as well, because I feel there could be this potential kind of overstimulation maybe with our groups and maybe with our friends. That's just something. But I also even feel with that energy too that there could maybe be this vastness maybe in what you want to achieve, what you want to do. And this could be kind of, this really does kind of tie in nice with what I want to talk with you about, Virgo, with what I was kind of getting when I was meditating on these energies with your readings. And so you could have this kind of larger than life idea, and it's just like, how do you get that in more digestible chunks? Because Mercury, your ruler, and Neptune don't naturally have a good rhythm together. It depends on the sign, of course, where they're having a conversation at, but those energies in general, Mercury is just the everyday that we experience. It's that it's the closest planet to the sun, so it's very involved with this material realm here, where Neptune is the collective unconsciousness. This is bigger, this is larger than life type of stuff here. So that's very fascinating, Virgo. I like that. I think I'm going to start doing this. This is a nice little kind of add-on there. So I hope you let me know if you enjoyed that as well. Just sort of, this way you get to just kind of understand how you can combine the different, because the nice thing about astrology is, we're sure it can seem a little complicated with the planets, the houses, the signs, but once you get it on a base level, it does come down to, you take the information that you know and you get your imagination there, Virgo. So, but before we jump into this thing, okay, I think I about covered everything there. That was a nice little warm up there, Virgo. I'm with that. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these. Absolutely. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? Thank you, higher self. And the decks that I'm working with, I've included links to them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I enjoy that watching their Virgo. Speaking of 11th house stuff, I'm pretty sure we're friends. I'm figuring out how to set up a meeting. I'm getting into my Aries energy, and I'm just going to be like, hey. But there's this reader there, Jamie Knapp. She is fantastic. She's been a very just great supporter of me since I've started doing this whole YouTube journey and doing the tarot and the astrology. So this is on YouTube. So yeah, very, very grateful for that. And there's power in community, and that can be something too. So checking with, again, your community with that Neptune 11th house shenanigans going on there, Virgo. But there's the other readers on there provide very insightful messaging as well, very supportive. There's a link for an astrologer down there that I enjoy listening to as well. There are a couple links for some podcasts I enjoy and some apps I enjoy working with, and also a website that has this really cool thing that talks about Sabian symbols and things. And you know what? Well, Well, actually, no, that won't make sense. Never mind. But yes, I started talk about those on the weekly download. So if that's something that you want to if you want to check that out, Virgo, check those videos out as well. But before I get into your card here, let's talk about the big old party now that I've done talked your head off, Virgo. Let's talk about this big old party that Aries is getting ready to throw in their sign, Virgo, because they have the sun that's getting ready to enter. We're going to have a new moon total solar eclipse. It's eclipse season, Virgo. We're going to have your lovely ruler, Mercury, going retrograde. And we have Venus, the Empress, that's going to be entering into Aries as well. And let's start with the sun, because the sun's going to enter into Aries on the 19th of March at about 8:07 p.m. And that'll be Pacific time there, Virgo. And we'll be there through the 19th of April. And now with this energy, Virgo, we start the vernal equinox. Spring is here, well, depending on where you're at in the world. And things are coming to life. I really do enjoy springtime. Things are in bloom. There's this new inspiring energy. A lot of, depending on where you're at, there's where I'm at right now, it's raining a lot. And I just love that. It's just like I just feel like it's like these water codes are just kind of cleansing the energies and just wiping the slate clean. We've gotten from this we're still in a bit of heavy Pisces energy, but we're starting to wake up out of that energy. The personal planets are all starting to transit through there. Now we have Venus there. Mars will be entering there here soon, depending on when you're watching this. And so we're slowly, I feel like it's like the mind has been awake for a while. Mercury's been cruising, and I'm excited to kind of talk about that. But this is a time to embrace your ambitions there, Virgo. This is a time to really kind of tune into the body and where it wants to go. And I really feel like that for you as well, Virgo. That's going to be a particular focus, just because Mercury is going retrograde. The first retrograde is happening in this sign, and Aries is associated with the first house, which deals with how we present ourselves as our rising sign. So our aura, in a sense, how we come off, it can be presented as physical parts of the body. This can be, how you express your birth chart. Mine is I have a Leo rising, so things tend to come out a bit more flamboyant, a bit more positive, a bit more, and I have Jupiter conjunct my ascendant, which that definitely helps. So, because Leo energy doesn't always have to be so, but usually there is that warmth there, but now it's kind of cranked up a little bit. So that explains, when I happen to do what I do. It's all Jupiter, so what you gonna do with Big Papa? But this, I feel, is one for you, Virgo, to... You really just kind of check in with yourself energetically, see how the body's doing. I feel like you may want to do a lot, especially with the next energy that we're getting ready to get into, which is the new moon total solar eclipse that's happening in Aries, and it's going to be happening at 19 degrees 24 minutes of Aries. And this is going to be a big kind of deal, and I hadn't mentioned this with the other signs, but I'll talk about this of course more when we get closer to the date. But where this is happening, it's not just the sun and the moon that are going to be conjunct in this eclipse. Chiron is going to be in this party as well. And so this is happening a week after your ruler goes retrograde. So I feel like this is a very kind of well-timed kind of energy here, because this solar eclipse, I feel like, can be a very something... tuning in to your desires, seeing where your impulses want to go, seeing what your ambitions are, and exploring if there's any resistance behind that. What are those fears? I feel like really can unlock something in all of us, Virgo. Really kind of help us. Okay, now I've seen the fear for what it is. Now let me start to get a game plan for this. So I feel that where this Aries energy is very kind of big, I feel that for the soul tribe, even so far, that it would be wise to keep that excitement, but have it grounded somewhere. Whether this be through vision boards, whether this is making a checklist, whether this is through Post-it notes, whether this is through maybe you're writing your story as you're doing this, Virgo. Look at you, author. So this could be just something along those lines to work with this energy. Oh, and when I mention these degree points, this is to check in your chart to see if you have maybe any planets or points around that 19 degrees of Aries. And oh shoot, and I just thought to do something else here. You know what, it's fine. I'm going to do it on the other two. It's going to be fine. But this, and let's talk about the next energy here, Virgo, because I feel that the things that when your ruler's going to go retrograde on April 1st at about 3:15 p.m. and that'll be, oh, that's Pacific time. I said that, and then it will be retrograde through the 25th of April, and Mercury's going to spend a good amount of time in Aries. Mercury's cruising for quite a while, and so I feel that maybe for some this Mercury retrograde could feel abrupt. And I just feel that it could, maybe we could limit some of that impact if you start focusing on what your body needs. What do I need right now? Again, Aries is about the self, and this is a time I feel like to be a bit selfish. And not in like, you don't need to be, not in an aggressive way, like lower expression of Aries. It's more so in a way that's just like, hey, maybe I don't, I'm going to make more time for me, I've been feeling this bit of blah, 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 or whatever this is. But I feel like there's a need to just be mindful of how hard you push, especially I feel like with where your mind is at as well. Because you're ruled by, one of your rulers is Mercury. I like the idea of Chiron being your ruler as well. And that astrologer down there she had mentioned in a video about that, and I really resonated with that. I like that. So this, I feel that there is, again, Chiron is that wound that is not healed. So I feel like this could be, maybe there is something in the body that we're needing to pay attention to. Maybe it's paying attention to how your needs change over time. I was actually just thinking about that the other day. I was thinking about how I used to work out was very aggressive, very just kind of running all the time, and then doing all this stuff. But now it feels more intentional, and now the body feels to be running a bit smoother how I'm doing it. I'm not doing it nearly as much, maybe as aggressive, but not as much. So and that's why I feel like this energy is kind of asking you to sort of find this balance, but especially again with your mind, considering that Mercury is going to be here for a while. Aries is associated with the head, so make sure to take breaks, maybe get outside, move the energy. This could be something where you may think to do maybe something that can kind of take your mind off something else. Again, tune into the body, maybe doing some yoga, maybe doing some kickboxing class if you have a lot of nervous energy, or maybe doing some cycling, or maybe some swimming, or just something to get very active. And I feel like in that activity you can just keep the creative juices kind of flowing, get inspired, I feel, with this kind of Mercury retrograde. But instead of actively building towards something, kind of building something, let the inspirations kind of come naturally instead of trying to force some things. Just tune into your needs, as you can, Virgo. And this is actually kind of ties in very well with the last energy here, because Venus, the Empress, is entering in Aries on the 4th of April, and that'll be at about 9 p.m. and she'll be there through the 29th of April. And that is kind of like I was saying, the Empress is technically in detriment when she's in Aries, because the Empress is great at compromise, where everyone wins and everyone, there's balance always. She's very diplomatic in how she deals with things. But now I feel the Empress here is kind of living her own passion. She is being a bit more independent, stepping away from the relationship from a little bit, not separating from it, but more so questioning, I've been doing for the group, but how can I do for me to more so to just to continue to better the group as a whole. I feel that Libra energy is not becoming whole with someone. It's coming in, working on becoming whole with someone, and then the balance that creates. And so that can be where your kind of focus is there, Virgo, kind of examining those relationships, seeing how maybe you have put your needs maybe on the side for something. Because Virgo, just like Pisces, is on that service axis. And sometimes there may be this need to to overgive. So that's something to pay attention to, and that, and where we may not, again, just be giving enough to yourself. But I do even feel too, the Venus energy is the things that make us feel good, make us feel, with this Aries energy, inspired, passionate, competent, ambitious. So what are those things? Are you doing those things? Has something been keeping you, just like every time you delve into this thing, and this could be maybe a career, this could be a hobby, this could be maybe we're learning this, we're getting more intimate with our friends, our love, whatever this is. I just feel like there's this new type of pulse that's happening with this energy for you. Something here is like just kind of coming to life, but in a kind of steady sort of way, letting yourself kind of be divinely, it's interesting, kind of like instinctual, trust your instincts more so, I feel like, in a sense, and this intuition that's kind of going through here. You still have a couple more, especially for those of you who have maybe tail ends Virgo placements at the tail end of this Pisces energy here. So that might still be kind of feeling things, but for the most part, that energy has been pretty, like, has been integrated, has maybe been working its way into being integrated. So, but let's get into your first card here, Virgo, because this is when I like this when I was talking about especially challenging the mind here. And you have the Smith card here, Virgo, which is a card of overthinking and taking action. And I do feel for some here that this could be where maybe if you've been hesitating on something, this Mercury retrograde could be one where because Mercury retrogrades where it's not advised to start things. It may take a couple of goes to get things started. Retrogrades, especially with Mercury retrogrades, can lead to this sort of confusion, can lead to communications being weird. This technology can get a little wonky. But I feel that maybe for some, this Mercury retrograde can be a chance to try something out. Maybe make a few mistakes, but just see that it's possible. When I imagine, I'm getting this idea, just thinking about the fire behind me, just, when people went to make fire, they may have had the first spark like lit up really well, and then it was like poof, and then it went out. I was like, wait, what happened? And you had to refine that skill in order to get it right. And that's Virgo energy. Virgo energy is one of mastery, and in that energy of mastering a skill comes in what you're doing in your routine. How your day-to-day is looking. How is the body able to perform this said skill? Do I have the physical capability? Do I have the mental capacity? Do I have this? Am I taking, that's so, I feel this could really be you really kind of coming into the Virgo energy and frequency in a very, just like how it's, I feel like at a high expression meant to be the sort of efficient sort of energy here. And I feel that for some others, this feels just like a brainstorming type of time. Just like taking action doesn't even necessarily have to be getting the thing in motion. Maybe you're wanting to start a running routine. This could be just mapping out, okay, based off what my schedule is looking like right now, I can fit in this time, and this time, and just getting your head wrapped around it, not overthinking it. Start small so that it can, that idea can seem clear. Neptune in the 11th house. Let's take it step by step. And I like that. But if we happen to have, because I want to say my stepdad's mom has Virgo in Neptune in Virgo. I want to say she does. But, this can be taking the details and putting it into bite-sized chunks, and we may never get to the full thing. This is kind of 10 of Pentacles energy, but we're working towards that energy. We're noticing the improvement that is happening here. And I feel like it's to not overthink the process. Sometimes even though you're ruled by a cerebral type of energy, the brain needs a break. Absolutely. Chariot in reverse. So, oh, let me get the rest of yours here. Love that. All right. Oh, fascinating. Thank you, yourself. Let's see what's going on here, Virgo. All right, so you have the Chariot and the Two of Wands in reverse. And then you have the Page of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Justice card here, which is Libra energy. And then the Chariot is Cancer energy, and which is exciting because we're going to talk about lunar shenanigans next. And I normally don't talk about lunar shenanigans on this channel. But, where are we starting? Let's start with the Chariot. Because I feel that for some, again, there's something here about this Page of Pentacles is wanting to get something off of the ground, but, you know, there's this inspiration here, but there's this lack of trust, I feel, with the Two of Wands being here, Virgo. And this energy is... I feel like it's partway maybe coming from, because again, I like the idea of Chiron, which is an asteroid, by the way, Virgo, being associated with your sign, because Chiron is that energy that we work on all the time. It's a wound that never heals, but in learning to tend to it, we get special gifts from it. New things unlock that help us along this journey, and others along this journey as well. And it really teaches us this compassion for ourselves. But I feel that there is this, maybe this self-confidence that's going through here. Maybe there is something that is physically kind of getting in the way. Maybe there's this location that may be a factor, maybe something here. So it's just like, how can we work with what we have here? How do we brainstorm and get creative with the Five of Wands here? This is Saturn in Leo, and we're going to need to flex that creative muscle a little bit, see ourselves in a different type of light here, find this sense of balance maybe in this, again, just in this chaos here. That's Libra energy. But I also feel here with the Justice card that there's a need to just... yeah, it's like this, it's this energy of cause and effect. You know, I feel like if you overthink something and worry, it's, what are you thinking about when you're overthinking? You know, is it just this negative stuff? Because if so, how do we bring in some balance to change in the routine? And like, okay, that's great. You laid out all the, because listen, where I am very much a big optimist. I have to, that's something I have to be real with, you know, that there is a level of realism that, you know, not everything is, you know what I mean, Virgo? So what I'd like to say is like, okay, we've laid out all the negative options. We've given that energy space. Now let's do the same thing for the positives. That's all. I just feel like that's fair is fair, and that's justice energy. That's Libra, and I feel like when we weigh both of those things and really consider the stuff, then we get down to a new idea that pops up. Okay, this is not because of X, Y, and Z. It's not maybe as complex as I'm making it. It could just be this, we're stressed, or maybe we're, whatever the actual root of this problem is that's stopping this inaction here, or preventing this action. So yeah, this is the time to test ideas, Virgo, and test them with other people. You know, this is like these people, they're not fighting with swords, they're fighting with staffs right now. They're getting a feel for the land here. And that's what I feel that the Pluto in Aquarius is about. How do we hold our power in the face of society without things are changing here, Virgo? So, interesting start here. I'm with it. I do. I like how this energy all kind of ties together. Yeah, so I'm confirming this with you. We're keeping the dice. This is working for me. Now, Virgo, let's hydrate, talk about taking care of the body, and let's talk about Libra. All right, because we have another eclipse. The full moon penumbral lunar eclipse that's happening in Libra on the 25th of March. This is the first one. This is the one that's happening after the new supermoon that we just had in Pisces on the 10th, depending on when you're watching this. And this is going to be happening at midnight at 5 degrees 7 minutes of Libra. Now, the penumbral lunar eclipse in itself, the moon takes on, it's a very subtle eclipse when you when you look at it just kind of visually. But I feel that this energy can be one. And again, we'll talk about this more. Well, yeah, I'll talk about this more when we get to that on the weekly download. But I feel that this full moon for you, Virgo, can be one where you're kind of seeing where we may have been, just thinking with that overthinking energy, where we may be overthinking in our relationships. Are we creating dissonances that aren't really there? Is there something that's going on within that we may be projecting onto others? Are others doing the same to you? This is a time, I feel, to kind of pay attention to those nuances. That's what I feel this penumbral lunar eclipse is doing, is bringing these nuances in under the full moon. We're really kind of in this sort of sensitive energy. You know, there's this awareness to the things beyond the eye. You know, we can stare at the moon, but the moon is, she's more complex than that. You know, she's more than just a big light in the sky. She's constant. She's the fastest luminary or celestial body in our little thing, and she changes signs once. It goes through each of the signs. You know, her thing is once a month, compared to yours would be the second fastest there, Virgo. But this energy here, I feel, again, while you're in this energy of slowdown, just a kind of just evaluations of where have I may been giving a lot more? Have there been these kind of subtle things that subtle ways that I may have been giving up more of myself, my resources, whether this be my time, my whatever that may be, how I'm just thinking about yourself. I feel energetically how that exchange is going on there, Virgo. But let me get an oracle on this. But eclipses do bring about very big changes, Virgo. And it's something that you may see over the next 6 months. It may not be something that's just like automatic, just bam. But you know, these little changes I feel with these new moon that comes that may lead potentially to this big thing. And I feel like it's not, this doesn't have to just be like there's something like the world is falling apart. Like we were talking about, we got to consider the negatives and the positives. There can be some things that may be need to be under reevaluation, but there also may be some things where we may have noticed someone who does get it, who has been there, who has kept the balance. You know, there's been this reciprocity there, and so there may even be a new appreciation for the existing harmonies and how we can maybe even deepen those, go from that Libra energy and even take it a little bit further to that Scorpio energy as well, the next progression in that line. So just something to think about there, Virgo. Oh, interesting. You know, we were talking about relationships. So you have the Puppeteer card in reverse here, Virgo, which is a card of, I think Gemini got this card too, which is a card of explanations and apologies. And so this, I feel, Virgo, this might be for some, maybe there are some things, maybe we have some explaining to do. And you know, Virgo, I feel this explanation is something, if there has been maybe some tension here, maybe we've noticed a relationship has kind of gotten a little bit stagnant. And this doesn't have to just be romantic. Libra is one-on-one, so this could be maybe we'll notice a relationship at work, or maybe something in our our friends, or, and again, that's even kind of getting into Aquarius, but just something where we're noticing some sort of dissonance there. Maybe there is something that's not being said. This could be, I feel like, again, inviting to maybe see past what the mind can understand and dipping into more of the feeling side of this as well. Because, I feel where Virgo energy does, is ruled by the mind, there is this compassion that comes with Virgo energy, because you're working towards this idea of, not necessarily, quote unquote perfection, but working on getting to your highest vibration, your higher self. What is this craft is that can help you be of service, to be, to really express how valuable you really are. And I feel in that pursuit of that, you have to have some sort of compassion, because there are times where you do doubt yourself, where you do have this. And so I bring all of that up to say that, there could be some things where there's some hidden stuff that may need to be expressed if we're noticing some stuff, because sometimes I find dissonance in any sort of relationships. It's usually because there's something going on here, but sometimes we project it onto others. We want to give it it's almost like we're putting up a mirror for ourselves. And that's what Libra does. It shows us what we bring to the table and how things are balancing out with that. So maybe there are some apologies that are needing to be had. And, or maybe there's some apologies that maybe we need to tell to ourselves. Maybe there's a reason why we haven't been able to move, because maybe there's been just something out of balance here, Virgo. There might have been that inner critic that's been going just on the run. So, yeah, just something I feel like to kind of think about here, Virgo. But let me get some tarot on this. Let me get some details with this. And maybe for some, but what was I going to say? Well, let me get the cards, Virgo, and it'll come back to me. Interesting. Oh, we were just talking about Scorpio. So you have the Death card, Scorpio, the King of Wands, upright, and then you have Cancer's ruler, the moon, lovely high priestess here, the moon. One of Cancer's cards for me, the Queen of Cups, and the Five of Swords and the Page of Swords in reverse here, Virgo. And Virgo, I feel for some, it's very interesting with this combination here, this page, these swords with the Queen of Cups here. I feel like, especially if you've had a situation maybe here recently where there was sort of some sort of disagreement or something along those lines, that for some, I feel there's a need to communication. I feel is a kind of a big one with this little pocket here, because I feel in that the relationship moves energetically and moves stronger going forward. There's a change here. How we used to operate here, in a sense, has died. There is a death that's happening, but there's simultaneously a new rebirth that's happening. We're understanding ourselves in a new kind of energetic way, going into unexplored territories here. And the King of Wands for me is Sagittarius energy. And I feel that there's this, if you have this way, if you've been thinking about wanting to make amends with someone, this could be a need to just take this action. Because listen, Virgo, I'm in a similar situation where it may be that you don't want to. Maybe you've been the one that's been doing stuff, and there hasn't been that reciprocity, and you want them to take the step. My only thing with that is, are you going to be able to make peace with that? And can you make peace with that right now? If they don't, what does that mean going forward? Because that changes things. Death card, and I feel that this high priestess may at first have this balance, but maybe then there could be this confusion that's happening. I feel like be mindful just with all this kind of Cancer energy that's coming through here. Being mindful about getting stuck in any sort of emotions that come up with that. Scorpio energy too is you're getting a lot of water energy, kind of strong water energy coming through here with Cancer and Scorpio being here. So there may be some, with these relationships, there may be this need to make peace with that, a need to do some self-care with the Queen of Cups being here. And I feel in that, with this High Priestess here, I feel that there is this learning that is coming here. She's giving me almost this epiphany type of energy that's kind of happening here. She's learning discernment. And that's what I feel what happens with these relationships and things. Is not worried about, we can't this puppeteer. We can't control what other people do, how they respond. Five of Swords energy. They may not say what we want to do when we want, but I feel we can control how we can go energetically moving forward there. So that's what I feel this puppeteer card here is, a not need to make up apologies for this person or this situation, but learning to forgive a situation. Take the nuggets of wisdom that you can from this and grow, Virgo. And whether this is something that comes together going forward, who knows? Who knows? If the universe wields it, so it shall be. But sometimes you gotta cheer and keep it moving, Virgo. Now, let's talk about this next energy. Let me show a little more compassion. But now, this next energy, Virgo, we got Pisces. And this one I feel like is going to be a bit of an interesting. I'm spilling water all over the place, Virgo, don't mind me. This water energy. But Pisces. You have Mars that's going to be entering Pisces. You have Saturn that's in Pisces, and then there is the lovely Neptune here that is in Pisces. And let's talk about this, Virgo, with Neptune, because Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011, and she'll be there through the 30th of March next year, 2025. Of course, she's going to retrograde in between that before she officially enters Aries in 2026, and that's the same goes for Saturn. But this Neptune in Pisces energy has been forming oppositions throughout these last 13 years with your Virgo placements. And this could be, I feel, Neptune has been trying to invite you to integrate that more kind of spiritual part of you. Virgo energy, I feel like, again, it's tied to this with you being Mercury ruled and even Chiron ruled, there is this focus on the body through learning through this vessel. Virgo is how this growing through this experience. But I feel that this Neptune in Pisces has been, I just feel like been wanting you to I feel like it's imagining something, I feel like, again, bigger than yourselves, bigger than this immediate environment. The idea of something, because I bring this up because she's getting ready to wrap this up here soon, and there may be this relief, Virgo. Because listen, I understand what it's like to have Neptune oppose a point. She's opposed my sun, which it's this there could have been a lot of sensitivity that's been happening. I've been kind of feeling with this energy here, Virgo. Maybe there's been this sort of like maybe unknown stress here. There's been this more so kind of just kind of you've been challenged more kind of spiritually, like and and it's just like understanding how it's may have been and it still may be incorporating. There may be these kind of larger than life questions that we may be kind of asking yourself, and this may be some stuff it's like not trusting this intuition in a sense. That's why I feel like this Neptune has been trying to teach you to integrate that in a deeper type of way. Because Virgo energy is incredible when it's at work. It's something that, because again, it's that energy of crafting a skill to be of service to something. It's more than just like, oh, Virgo is a sign of routines and busyness and analytics. It's you have to have that strong analytical mind to get to where you want to be. Paths just don't intuitively. It's like things do show up, of course, but it's like Virgo, like there's detail, there's a plan that's coming through. I feel like that energy when it gets there. So I feel like this energy is almost just kind of asking you to just kind of relax a little bit. Neptune's been wanting you to feel a bit more. Tune into that higher mind of yours, and how when you do find that thing, when you're in that flow, Virgo, there's still work that's happening, but you don't have to nearly work as hard. So I feel like Virgo energy, when it's focused, it's really is a marvel. So that's what I feel like this Neptune and Pisces, with it getting ready to wrap up soon. Again, this may not have been the most comfortable time, maybe spiritually, but I feel it can be one where we kind of can look back on the past and, oh, that kind of hindsight is 2020 type of energy there, Virgo. And then let's talk about Saturn, because Saturn's been in Pisces since the 7th of March 2023 and will be there until 2020, excuse me, till 2025 of May. And this energy, I feel for you, because all these energies are closing out here, Virgo, when you think about this. And I feel with this closing out and letting things go and making this space and trusting in this source, that's a lot of energies for you in Pisces, I feel like, to kind of deal with. It's but I'm picturing this Saturn energy here is 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 a getting disciplined, I feel, in your spirituality, in whatever that looks like there for you. And that's one aspect there, Virgo, that I'm really kind of feeling with that energy, that there's something here that is just needing to, again, just kind of see bigger than just this, than just but another thing too, with Saturn and Pisces, this has been one of checking our boundaries as well. And not just that people follow our boundaries, but also that we enforce these boundaries, because it's not the other person's job to keep your wall upright. These people don't, you have to tend to your home. No one else will. Now, if people start throwing stones at it, and may not be the best analogy, but if someone pushes a boundary, let's say, I feel like it's up to you we can't control what they do, but we can control what we do. And we may give them a chance or two or three, but at some point, if it does get to the point where it's getting out of hand, you wish they would, but there's something that stops this, we get into this overthinking as far as like why we need to take action, then, I feel that there's, at some point, it takes two in a relationship there, Virgo. So, I feel like Saturn is wanting us to get disciplined with that as well. But there's something here Virgo, it just intuitively it just feels that in getting, like where I was talking about getting in that flow with Aries, and in getting in this flow, I feel like it's in that flow you're going to discover new kind of sides of yourself, more kind of psychic, spiritual, kind of imaginative sides of yourself, and learn to just express that energy a bit differently, come with that same efficiency but maybe even a little bit softer. You know, because I feel like Virgo energy, maybe it's because we've gotten into an environment, even just thinking about that, that is so overly stimulated and overly stressed. And where stress is necessary, it's like we forgot, our relationship with it has gotten so out of whack. And that's, I feel like, a great energy to talk about next with Mars, that's going to be entering into Pisces on the 22nd of March at about 4:45 p.m. and will be there through the 30th of April. Now, this energy I feel for you, Virgo, is going to bring a challenge to your energy. Because I feel Mars does very well in Virgo. It can probably push itself a little too hard, kind of similar to when it's in Capricorn, but I do feel like there's an efficiency there and a focus that Mars likes in Virgo. But I feel in Pisces, this is when he's like, I hear you, Virgo. I want to do all of the things. I want to tackle this stuff and get this stuff done. But I'm in Pisces. I'm tired. It's been a hard year for me. I just need a break. I just need to kick back and relax. And that, I feel like that might be for some what Mars may be asking for you. This, to kind of process all of the things that have been happening to you energetically, and how you take action going forward. Put some explanations behind some things. What are some stuff, maybe even some realizations, again, some here, like with that full moon energy that I was talking about. Maybe there's some things that maybe we realize that we've been slighted in some sort of way, or maybe where there's, again, it may not have been malicious, but maybe there's been something here where we've been overgiving, or whatever that may be looking like. But I feel this Mars in Pisces is just going to want you to you can still be at work, just not work so hard. I was talking with, I want to say, who was I talking with? Oh man, this was I think it was Aries. I think either Aries or Scorpio. Someone was talking about a hammock, and I feel like it's trying to find that place of work smart and play smart. In a hammock, I've never been in a hammock, so I'm just kind of, I'm imagining that you're sitting in this thing, you're lying in this thing, and there's this gentle movement of your body that's also, there's work that's happening, but there's this simultaneous care that's also happening. And this Queen of Cups being in reverse, there is a need for care for that. And this, again, is not, I feel like, just physically. I feel this Mars is bringing where we may be drained into our awareness. And that may, I feel like, be especially stark for you, Virgo, just because there's those oppositions that are being formed with all this kind of Pisces energies that's been going through there. There's been this a relationship, for you, with the sun finishing up its transit in Pisces. There's been this this kind of awareness of who I am. When your ruler was there, of where my thoughts are at. With Venus, getting ready. She just entered there not too long ago. And Venus is entering there, with my relationships, where some things going. There's a lot of energies, again, a lot of personal planets that are coming through there. And they're processing all of this stuff with what Pluto had just presented with them, with the conjunctions that they had. It's a lot of energy, even just talking about it, you can see how, man, it really has been a lot of change. So I feel this is a time to just kind of kick back, relax, and just evaluate a little bit. Reflect on where we want to going forward. It's not to say that you can't get things started up, but it's being smart with that energy, that King of Wands, being crafty, with that. But let me get your oracle card here, Virgo, see what's going on with this. Yeah, this Aries season has been very interesting for all of the signs so far. Okay, hold on, Virgo. Alrighty. Get yourself. See what's going on here. Oh, interesting, Virgo. I like this. So you have the Dancer card here, which is a card of self-expression and strength. And you know, Virgo, I feel that that's a great use of your energy with Mars being in Pisces. This could be finding different ways to utilize that energy that you have. Find various modes of self-expression, whether this be through dancing, through crafting, through arts. Find something through communication, maybe through, maybe you start doing like a podcast, or even if no one hears it, maybe just like talk about a topic, something that you're fascinated in. Maybe do like a practice video or whatever there, Virgo. But I feel in that there is strength and there's inspiration that comes through with that as well there, Virgo. And I feel that with channeling in that sort of way, this change that could happen could maybe you've been on this certain trajectory for a while, and maybe there's been this sort of slowdown. This can maybe even change the trajectory of where things are going. And there's something intuitive here that you may feel with that, but we're not sure again if we can trust that. Or we may be overthinking that. The mind may be coming a little bit too much into play. It's smart to have rationality. Air plays a very important part, just as water, fire, and earth do. But they need to be in balance. And I feel that this self-expression just allows that intuitive space, just a louder landscape to have a conversation with you, Virgo. This can be where it just kind of evens the playing ground. I feel with this Five of Swords a little bit. I feel that those people walking away, that's higher self attempts at just trying to get in touch with you, Virgo. Just like, hey, hey, let's maybe take a break. Yeah, I know you want to get this stuff done, but if we do this thing, then you can do this other thing a lot more, But let me get. And who knows, Virgo? I feel like this could maybe even be for some. Yeah, just something here about maybe I'm getting like a full energy here, where it's like we're expressing ourselves in a new way, but maybe even in a way that's finally more so in flow of you possibly here. Ooh, look at and how fascinating. You're getting a lot of cardinal energy here too, Virgo, with the let me get the rest of your cards here. Alright, Virgo. So you have the Seven of Swords, the Three of Wands, the Four of Wands, and then the Emperor, Aries, in reverse. And then you have the Six of Cups and the Star card here. And the Star is Aquarius energy. Really starting. And I was kind of feeling that with the... Because one thing I'm getting with the Star card and self-expression, it makes me think about like Leo is the Strength card, and then the Star card's here. There's this, I feel, for some, there's this energy here of maybe needing to live your truth in a sense, and whatever that means for you. There's this energy of sharing something. I feel with the collective, like the Star card's Aquarius energy is really coming out of that, taking your thoughts here and really making them become. Look at all that water flowing out of here, Virgo, and. This could be something here where we may feel a little nervous, a little shy, a little scared, like whatever this may be. We may feel that maybe you won't be celebrated possibly with the Four of Wands here, but I feel that this is like an initiation type of card here in order to pass this test. This is a card of marriage, and in order to get to that state of marriage, and because I feel like to have that trust that's happening there's a journey that needs to go on, that needs to happen first here. Sun and Aries, Three of Wands here. And, there needs to be these challenges and these things and an understanding for each other, get into each other's flow, understand each other, and respect each other's ways of expression and how that does grow together. But Yeah, that's very interesting. I feel that there's some that's coming through you pretty strongly there, Virgo. But I feel that in that self expression, there could be a lot of healing too. I feel with the star card that's happening here, the Seven of Swords is giving me even this kind of discovering of these new kind of skills that you may get here, Virgo. I heard actually someone say something really, I loved it. It just gave me chills. They were talking about their son, and they were saying that they were going through this sort of like, there was this neighborhood bully, I think, or something, and they were talking about how he was saying like, well, son, you just have to understand, your this sensitivity here. There was just a lot of understanding there because from the story that I heard, the other kid was doing a lot, but he was just like, they see your this as weakness when really there's this strength here that's coming through with that, and it won't be something that you probably won't appreciate until later. But know that, and it was just very encouraging, and that's what I feel this energy here is very encouraging. I feel this Mars in Pisces. He's not, people normally associate him with just this aggression, this outward, but the Emperor can be soft. The Emperor can get tired. He's fallible. He may want to seem like someone who's, but Emperor, he needs a break too. But I also feel like the Emperor doesn't, I almost feel like this emperor here may not even realize how much of an emperor they really are. So that may be something to really kind of consider there, Virgo, because again, I feel your Virgo frequency here is, if you have your sun there, for example, you are here the energies are inviting you to learn yourself through your abilities, through honing this craft in a sense, this expression of self, embodying that wholly, and mastering that thing, becoming an expert at whatever that is. So it's very, very fascinating here what's going on, Virgo. But let's get to this next energy, which is Taurus, because you got Big Papa, Jupiter, that's in Taurus, and then you have Uranus, that's in Taurus as well. I actually wanted to kind of talk about Uranus there, Virgo, because Uranus is going to be in Taurus until the 7th of July 2025, and he'll do some retrograding between Gemini and Taurus. And I feel he's been there since 2018. And I feel that this energy has been for you, Virgo, maybe for some over these last few years, that has been one where Uranus has it's been a harmonious energy, because the Taurus energy forms trines with your sign. But Taurus, I feel, is a little bit different from, you being the mutable earth sign, Virgo. I feel you move a little bit faster because your Mercury rule. Venus moves fast too. She's right behind you. But I feel there is this harmony with the trine that comes through there, Virgo. And trines are dope. But I feel that Uranus has been especially since we're talking about the self-expression as well, maybe has been challenging your self-esteem. Like more so than do the things that you value really hold up to the changes that are happening in your life. Uranus is where we seek freedom. And I feel that how do we, this question, I feel like has been asking us, how do we feel about our state of security going in the future, which can be unsettling in Taurus, because when we say the answer And, you know, we may feel comfortable, we may feel this, and then a challenge comes through. Let's say like a real challenge comes through, something like just out of the box. You know, we've all, I mean, we all had it. I mean, like, you know, that 2020 was just wild. And it's been like that going. And honestly, even ramping up before that was wild. You know, like it was just, but it was different. It was so aggressive. It was a totally different energy, even just thinking about it. But let me shake out of that, Virgo. But I feel this has maybe been in. I know I'm talking about all this harmony. Where's the harmony at? I feel that it's been through dissonance that Uranus has been asking you that. Where's the harmony? Is the harmony that we've had, the things that we've put stock in, do they actually stand? Do they stand change? You know, or have we been inflexible maybe in some of our ways of thinking? Maybe the things that we've got, maybe we haven't noticed that there have been parts of us that grow, because change is, you know, change is one of those things that I feel like it happens, but we just have to choose to accept it or not. It's happening whether we like it or not. You know, but it's just like whether, you know, it is that level of, it's that awareness that it's happening and that is changing. You know, and I feel that this Uranus is asking you to look at your situation from a higher place. You know, ask yourself what actually does matter. Detach from ego, or this personality, in a sense, where it's important, you know, for this journey here. This is just one expression of a grander thing. You know, I feel like this is, Uranus again is that, for me, is like that collective consciousness. This is, I almost feel like for you, Virgo, for some, I almost feel that there is this in meeting yourself, in finding this harmony, you can help others find harmony, share the tools that you've utilized that works. And I feel like it's not looking, or it's almost like not coming in with, how do I want to put this? Because I feel like Virgo energy is very solution oriented. You know, they're going to, when you presented a problem, Virgo's got that. Virgo energy can figure that out. And I feel like it's not coming again with that. It's a bigger than the mind thing. And I feel like that's almost like the lesson that maybe Neptune was coming with more so, a bit more, coming with like the idea of like, the energy is here if you want it. If you want solutions, if you want this, or tell me how can I bring harmony, as opposed to bringing the harmony that you think is needed there, Virgo. It's very interesting what I'm getting with that Uranus in Taurus, but it's something I feel here is, and I feel like even like maybe in understanding your understanding of harmony. Because I talk about the trines, where the trines are beneficial, but it depends on how you look at it. Because I had a trine that happened with Pluto, and where trines are beneficial, it was Pluto, and Pluto does do great stuff. I like what Pluto's doing in my chart, but it was a situation that was kind of caught me off guard a little bit, and thankfully I'm at a place now where I feel content with where I left the situation, you know, and I can go with a light heart with that one. And so that's where I don't know, that's very interesting what's coming in there with that, Virgo. I'm gonna leave that one there. And then we got Jupiter that's gonna be in Taurus. Big Papa, let's shift gears. That's going to be in Taurus until the 25th of May. And I feel like there's just like some sort of transition that's getting ready to happen here, Virgo, because this is a time I feel, especially with Uranus, I feel this is a time with Jupiter in Taurus to learn more about what you value, the things that you invested in, understanding that things take time. I feel is a thing that's coming through here with this Jupiter in Taurus, of patience, because Taurus is a very patient energy. They're a hard working sign, you know, but they have that tenacity. They'll put stuff in for the long haul when it's something they feel that is going to be secure, that is going to be worth it. But I feel that Uranus in Taurus has shown us that there is very little security. Their only security that can really is within. That's where it needs to start, you know, and it goes from there. But I feel like that's where this Jupiter is wanting to do, because I feel when Jupiter moves into Gemini over the next year, that may be a tricky one for you, and that's down the line. We still got a couple months from that, but this is a time I feel like to get grounded in yourself now, Virgo, so that you are ready and that you have the strength and things to take action, to not overthink, just to kind of inherently know what to do. That's what I feel this energy has been kind of teaching you, with Jupiter being here almost over a year, and Uranus having been here over the last 2018, so that'd be 6 years. So this is a kind of look at where things have not been harmonious, and where, you know, I feel like this is almost embracing the uncertainty, you know, where Taurus may just want things one sort of way. We do need to be flexible with the Scorpio energy, and remembering their opposite sign, that things do change, that life is fluid, and it's just like, how do we stay grounded in these bodies? Absolutely, through this experience as these energetic beings. And it's a lot going on with that one, Virgo. But you got the Scholar card here, and this is a card of investigation and research. And so you got a lot of mental energy, and that might be, even as I'm talking about this, that might be what we're reflecting on, maybe even in this Mercury retrograde. This might be thinking about who you are, you know, doing maybe a little bit more research into what are some things that what are some ways that you can express yourselves? Have you been living up to your strengths? I feel forgiveness. Again, this is coming through with that puppeteer, and investigating why maybe we've been holding on to something possibly here. What's that about? Why we've been overthinking a thing? Why has that been preventing inaction that's been going on here, Virgo? There's this, there is, I almost feel like this interesting. It's like checking in with your story, even is something that I'm getting with this energy here. And because I'm getting a message here about there may be some parts in your story or some values that may have been written not by you, just something that I feel like maybe has been imprinted on you. Maybe this can be from a certain experience or something along those lines, Virgo. Again, take that how it resonates, but think you yourself. Let's see what's going on here, Virgo. So, what's good, girl? And Neptune. Very Neptune focused here, Virgo. So you have the Nine of Cups, the Hanged One, Neptune energy, Venus here, the Empress, upright, and then you have the Five of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands in reverse, Virgo. And that's interesting, because you have Venus and Neptune here, which Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. And so I feel like this is you. It's this energy here. I'm getting with like the Eight of Wands and even the Chariot here. Again, for some, I feel like of kind of slowing down, maybe reflecting on some past maybe disappointments that have possibly been here. And just again, I feel like there's a learning to forgive these mistakes here. There's a seeing things from a higher perspective, showing yourself some more, showing yourself some more compassion here. And I do feel for some that even with that self-expression, the Empress is very artistic. She creates beauty and peace and serenity, and I feel that this energy here could really kind of change your vibration up here, Virgo, with the Nine of Cups. There's something here about kind of reflecting on, again, there's it's a slow energy and a steady one, but it's a slower pace than maybe we would want. But I feel you maybe take enjoy the downtime now, because it may be, we may, the situation kind of reminds me of, I used to work in food and beverage, and there was this time where, some people were like, oh my gosh, it's so slow. And I was like, enjoy it. Savor every second of it. I love when it's slow, because when it's crazy, I'm going to miss this time. I'm going to think back and be like, man, I was so zen. And you can call on those spaces when you're yelling in the fridge. But this, I feel, is a time to just kind of regroup there, Virgo, with the Queen of Pentacles being here. Kind of research too. I feel like maybe make even some energy for some fun with the Knight of Wands being here. I feel like there's just channeling that energy a bit differently, because you got a lot of hot figures here with the King of Wands, Knight of Wands being here. And yeah, I just feel there is, I feel like this can be one where you can learn just a lot about yourself, Virgo, in how you, just put these anywhere, where you can just, it can be a very enriching experience. I feel both just kind of physically and spiritually, mentally, really kind of get you in alignment with the Nine of Cups here. I feel like with just your values, and have faith that it's going to come, really kind of a new level of trust, I feel, coming through with that. So, and then this last energy here, Virgo, we have Aquarius. And Pluto's been in Aquarius Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So we're going to be talking about this for quite a bit. But he first entered Aquarius, and that's very interesting too when you think about how that breaks down. It's on 3/23/2023, so it's like 3/2/3/23, and so that's a very even interesting there. But this Pluto in Aquarius, I feel for you, Virgo, may be one where I feel like it's taking power in where you drive your future. When we're considering this lineup here, Virgo and with Neptune and Virgo in the 11th house, I feel this is you taking your dream, and then how do you go about accumulating that or achieving that, in setting these achievable goals for yourself. Not even like saying like it's impossible, it's this. It's just like, how do I work up to that? And then ask, like, do I really want that? This is something, or is this something I'm making myself, is this something I think that I want, or is this something that I really feel that I want? It like really resonates with me. This I feel is, to not overthink this type of things here with where the challenges are going for you. And it could be a little uncomfortable here, because I feel we can maybe be confident in what we're doing, but then when it gets tested out tested in the wild, when we're out amongst people, and they have their opinions. You know, our friends, our lovers, our this, our that, the people we associate with on who's connected with us. You know, they're gonna have everyone's gonna have a different opinion about what this is, and it's like, how do we keep that energy going and keep that power despite what others may think? Hold that sense of expression. Make that work matter. So this Pluto in Aquarius, I feel too, is I feel like one for you to get very innovative, Virgo, as far as I feel like, again, Virgo energy is looked at as very kind of like a boring sign, one that. But some of my favorite, but growing up, some of the artists that I listened to, a lot of them had like Virgo suns and moon, like a lot of Virgo energy, and it is one that it does, however it's or wherever it's expressed, it shines. It works very efficiently, and it does just like it has this like can do and motivated type of and disciplined. Like that's Mercury in a very disciplined place. When Mercury's in Gemini, he's a bit freer. He's just kind of taking in the stuff. He picks up stuff really fast, and you know whether it'll become cohesive later. We'll think about stuff if something sparks up. But now with Virgo, it is more analytical. It is more kind of about the details. We need a structure. We need grounding. So again, I feel like this is working your mind, tapping into the powers of your higher mind in a sense there, Virgo. All right, Virgo. Thank you, guys. Take yourself. Oh, all right, Virgo. So you have the Catalyst here, which is the card of radical changes and taking control. And I like this, Virgo, because we were talking about that. I feel that this taking control is one where you're not taking control of looking to. I feel that this is you realizing that and actively walking in that energy of I don't control things outside of myself. You know, everything else, life is happening. I can only control how I respond to it. And so I feel in that changes, it may seem radical at first. These may seem like really big things to do, but I feel like it's you developing this sense of autonomy. You know, you're getting this strength in self expression. You're learning this more about yourself here. But I do feel that there is this ownership, though, that is happening here, Virgo, with this taking control, that we may need to accept some certain, wherever we may need to accept accountability there, Virgo, with the Five of Cups kind of being there. Even that like Five of Swords, because there was a situation once where I had something could have went a lot better, but I know how. I'm not going to say what they could take from it, but I know what I took from it, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. And that did change things quite a bit, because when I even think about the energy now, it's like, yeah, it used to like just like give me like a little fired up, and now it's like I was talking about someone with a recent, like, you know what, I'm good on that. Like and that's why I feel like just something here, just like you taking control of how you're reacting to things there, Virgo. I feel like it's, changing, just a response. Interesting, Virgo. Well, let me finish up here, Virgo, and then we'll talk about that. Okay. Thank you, higher self. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh, and that's interesting because. So you have a lot of stuff going on here, Virgo. So you have the Tower and the Ten of Wands in reverse. And then you have the Devil and the Queen of Swords up right here, and let's switch back over here, Virgo, because I feel with this energy here, because one, Mars, you got a lot of cool stuff happening here, Virgo. Mars rules over Scorpio, the death card, Aries, the emperor, and does very well, is exalted in Capricorn. Venus and Mars, they just had a conjunction not too long ago. It's been maybe a couple weeks, a week or two now, but a lot of what's coming up here, Virgo. I feel with this, well, one, change, because Tower, death card, but this death card, I feel is you taking, again, that's you taking control for me. You know, the Tower can feel like things are happening to us, and now this energy, I feel like, is they're happening for us. You know, taking the burden off of yourself. And, oh, the other thing I wanted to bring to your attention, you got the last cardinal sign here, which is Capricorn. So this is cardinals are the initiators. They are the driving force, this boom explosion of energy. And I feel this is you, I feel like, coming with a fresh idea here, Virgo, as far as where things are going with the Queen of Swords being here. How I feel like you're kind of showing up, maybe even in your relationships, again, with who it does and however you partner. This devil here is, even I feel for some, this could be maybe understanding your relationships with maybe even substances, possibly. This could maybe be even toxic relationships, or whatever this may be looking like for you, Virgo. But I feel that it's I feel like in learning where we've given up our power and our authority, which is very Pluto, how there may be some kind of social things that may have been put on you, this programming and stuff, and like, how do we work out of that? Make that less of a burden and a burden for the Virgin sign, and how I just feel like it's putting your energy into a new type of way there, Virgo. I really dig it, but I think I'm going to leave that there. So, a little something to think about with this energy. But if you like that, Virgo, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this thing, Virgo. If you know someone who happens to be... your energy was a lot here, Virgo. There's a lot kind of going on with this. A lot of change, a lot of learning, self-expression, healing here. Yeah, share this, Virgo. You know someone who will resonate with this. And then subscribe there, you High Priestess, you Tower. So hit that bell button, you get notified when I have these videos each week. And then last little bit there, Virgo. So all this Cancer energy here. You got the hottest ticket here, the Chariot, and our lovely ruler, the High Priestess, even the lovely Queen of Cups. But if you have any Cancer in your placement, we can find that out together there, Virgo. A sun, moon rising, come on over to the Chariot and friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there, occasional weekends depending on how the moon's doing, whatever shenanigans she's up to. And I do tarot card spreads based off what sign she's in, what phase she's in. We talk about when she's going to void a course. It's a great old time there, Virgo. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here, Virgo. We were just talking about that. Got Eight of Swords here, which is Jupiter in Gemini. And so I feel, Virgo, with this is a time to kind of research, not overthink it, but do some research as far as like, what are some areas that we may feel bound in, where we may be in our heads, where we may be restricting, where you may be restricting yourself. And how can we take action on that? What are some things that we can learn about that? Jupiter in Gemini can be this sort of observation as well. Gemini energy takes in a lot too. So I feel there is a potential with that Jupiter in Gemini where it is very friendly. It's very much, it can be, and I know we still have a little bit while before we get in there, but I just feel like this is a time before the energy, I feel like, really kind of picks up a little bit. Because I feel like things are going to get a little bit more active. Energies are going to be kind of exchanging a bit more. People are going to get more social with Jupiter and Gemini, possibly kind of seeing things. So just kind of get yourself, again, kind of grounded while we're in this sort of earth energy now. Kind of see where you're at, what ways we may be kind of stuck in your head, or whatever that may be looking like for you there, Virgo. But let me get your other oracle, because I said I can't be here for a little bit. Let me get your other oracle card here so I can get you out of here, Virgo. Oh, and I actually got to, yeah. Oh, Virgo. Look at this. And we're talking about that full moon. No shenanigans. Thank you, higher self. So you got the full moon card here, Virgo. And this is a card of, I feel like, the full moon is a time of celebration, but also the full moon is a time of release. And that's why I feel like this full moon is asking you, there are things, changes are getting ready to come here. And this is, I feel like, where do we need to make space? Where do we need to clear out? Because that's how I kind of picture this Jupiter in Gemini. You know, I have a Gemini, my moon's in Gemini, so I tell people with mercurial placements that sometimes that Mercury thinks a lot and it accumulates a lot of energy, and so we need to find ways to get that out, you know, to make space and so that can be integrated so new things can come in. You know, if we're full, how can we, you know, it's like this full moon is like, how are you going to learn more and change when we're so stuffed, you know, when we haven't made space. You know, you don't cram in more learning stuff. We need to release some things first here. So that's what I feel like is kind of happening with this energy here, Virgo. And it may intuitively, it may not make sense at first. It may be something beyond the mind, but that's what the energy I feel like is inviting you and has been inviting you since 2011 there, Virgo. So something to think about, but you stay safe out there, Virgo, with all these changes, and try not to overthink it, Virgo. It's all part of the process. You're doing great. I believe in you, Virgo. You raise that vibration to the roof. But, oh, and definitely take some time, too. Empress is here, Queen of Cups, and Queen of Cups is feeling a little neglected. So let's self-care on that, Virgo. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.